In the hush of a moonlit forest, two children stumble through the trees, hand in hand. Their names are Hansel and Gretel, a brother and sister abandoned by frightened parents who believe dark forces have cursed their home. Hunger drives them deeper into the woods, until the air itself seems to whisper. Then they see it, a cottage made of candy, glowing warm in the cold night. They approach with the innocence of the desperate. The sweets are real, sugar crusting their fingers, syrup on their lips. And then the door creaks open. A woman stands there, all smiles and honeyed voice, inviting them inside. The smell of roasted sugar hides the stench of rot. When the door slams shut, the fairy tale turns to nightmare. Chains, iron bars, the witch's laughter. Hansel is forced to eat until he can barely breathe. Gretel is bound for the oven. But children learn fast when survival is the lesson. Together they break free, shove the witch into her own fire, and watch the candy walls melt around her screams. They walk away, marked forever. No longer prey, but something harder, sharper. Time passes, and the story becomes rumor. The rumor becomes legend. The world grows darker, crawling with witches who hunt by moonlight and trade in blood magic. And somewhere along the line, those two children pick up crossbows and shotguns, and never stop running. Now grown, Hansel, Jeremy Renner, and Gretel, Gemma Arterton, arrive in a small German town where children have begun to vanish again. Posters hang like accusations. Fear soaks the cobblestones. The mayor greets them with relief. The sheriff greets them with suspicion. He doesn't believe in professional witch hunters, especially ones who swagger in wearing black leather and carrying weapons powered by smoke and gears. But belief doesn't matter. Within hours, another child disappears into the trees. The siblings get to work, tracking footprints, testing wards, reading the language of ash and bone. They've done this 100 times, and yet this place feels different, heavier. The witches here are organized. Something big is coming. In the forest, they confront one, a snarling hag, skin stitched with runes. The fight is brutal, crossbow bolts shattering bark, fire catching hair, the witch shrieking curses until Gretel crushes her skull with the butt of her gun. The message is clear. We're not the scared kids anymore. Interrogations reveal fragments of a plan, a ritual that will take place during the blood moon, when witch magic is strongest. To complete it, they'll need 12 children, one born each month of the year. And they already have 11. The 12th is being hunted now. While Hansel questions locals, Gretel crosses paths with a red-haired witch named Mina, who doesn't act like the others. She's kind, gentle, almost human. Gretel senses truth in her claim that not all witches serve evil. Some are healers who hide from the covens. It's an idea she wants to believe. But trust is hard when your childhood was forged in fire. That night, the witches strike the town. They descend from the sky like crows, snatching children from their beds. Explosions rip through the square. Hansel and Gretel fight side by side, blades flashing, bullets screaming. But they're outnumbered. Amid the chaos, the Grand Witch Muriel appears, a vision of elegance twisted by rot, eyes gleaming with centuries of cruelty. She hurls Gretel through a wall with the flick of her wrist and vanishes into the storm, taking the last of the children with her. When Gretel wakes, she's bound to a tree in a clearing littered with bones. Muriel circles her like a predator, savoring the catch. She speaks of destiny, that Gretel's build line is ancient, powerful, born from the union of a witch and a human, that her mother was no victim, but a guardian who protected humans from darker covens. The village that burned their house wasn't punishing evil, it was erasing good. The truth lands like a knife. Gretel's mother didn't abandon them. She sacrificed herself to save them. Muriel offers partnership. Gretel refuses. The witch's smile curdles into rage. Meanwhile, Hansel, battered, bleeding, teams up with Ben, the young fanboy who idolizes the famous witch hunters. With Mina's help, they track Muriel to a mountain fortress where the blood moon glows red above the clouds. Inside, the witches chant in dozen tongues, circling the children bound in a ring of fire. The ritual has begun. The assault is chaos and fury. Hansel storms in first, crossbow blazing, cutting witches down in bursts of silver and flame. Gretel breaks her chains and tears through her captors with cold precision. Siblings separated for a moment, united in purpose again. Mina joins the fray, unleashing white fire that burns pure magic, cleansing the darkness. Muriel transforms, bones twisting, skin cracking into scales. The fight crashes through the fortress, into the woods, and onto the cliffs. Every strike feels personal. Centuries of cruelty meeting generations of pain. Hansel nearly dies when Muriel drives him into the rocks. Gretel pulls him back with sheer will. Together they trap the Grand Witch beneath her own cauldron fire and ignite the potion within. The explosion turns night into dawn. When the smoke clears, only ash remains. The children are freed. The blood moon fades to pale silver. The next morning, the siblings walk out of the forest, scarred but unbroken. Mina bids them farewell, her kind of witch finally seen for what it is. Ben follows as their new apprentice, carrying a bag of weapons too big for him, but a grin wide enough to match their legend. Hansel adjusts his glove over the scar that reminds him of the witch's candy curse, the sickness he still manages with crude medicine. Gretel glances at the rising sun, her mother's words echoing somewhere deep in memory. They mount their weapons, check their ammunition, and head down the dirt road. Somewhere out there, more witches wait, and the two orphans who once burned a candy house to survive now burn covens to keep the world breathing.